Hey guys, you're back with Juzzy Evo X, and today is the 24th of July 2021, and I'm out here again for another shot at the Evo X 2-litre SST world record. 2-litre is at 11.43, and my fastest today was 11.6, and that was with the stock fuel canister underneath the seat. So now I'm running a Bulletproof Racing fuel hanger, sits underneath the seat in the stock location, and yeah, I'm running a fuel filter in the engine bay, just a 40 micron high flow one that of course, as you know, has been installed and set up and tuned. Everything's done by AK Racing. I'm incredibly grateful to those guys who have just overwhelmingly taken care of me. The support has been excellent, and so if you're driving a CJ Lancer or any sort of performance car and you're in the Brisbane region, give those guys a message, send them a message at their Facebook page. If you've got a CJ Lancer, join into the Queensland CJ owners group. It's restricted just to Queensland CJ owners, and yeah, give it a shot, because that's where the guys are most prominent. You also find them on Oz CJ. But yeah, very focused on customers, particularly in Queensland. They have great customer service. So yeah, it's about 5 p.m. and I'm about to do my first run. As you can see, I've taken the interior out of the car like I normally do. I don't hide that from anyone. A lot of the guys who are competitive and they're at the top of the list do that. Once I've reached my goal, which I've achieved, which I want to achieve, which is a PB personal best of 11.5 for this car, then I will come back a couple of weeks later and attempt the run with the back seats and the interior in the car. Hey guys, so it's actually the next day now, next afternoon, and I was too tired and too fed up to actually record anything last night. So what ended up happening was there were a lot of people, probably 200 competitors that turned up to have a run at Willowbank. And because the track hadn't been utilised by the average racer like me for about a month, due to it being winter, track time, all the professional drag racers are out trying to earn money and their trophies, etc, etc. And so that finally finishes, and then the little guy like me comes out to have a run, and every man and his dog's out there with the same idea. And yeah, so it was a busy night, and that's no fault of the staff that run it. I really like the staff out there. Shout out to the guy that works in the ticket booth. Yeah, so basically, I would hope that the people that run the show there, though, actually consider capping the amount of people that turn out to have a run, and potentially to make back the windfall in money for that, increase the price. I'd quite happily pay more than 60 Australian dollars to have a run and not have to wait for an hour or 2 hours to actually have a run. So if anyone's out there that's a part of the events organizers for this, watching this, I'm going to tag Willowbank in this. Consider doing that, because a lot of people are actually making those posts in your group, giving you feedback, saying that they wish that this is the way that you would go ahead. So yeah, I was fed up to try and make a video last night. I did actually attempt to make one after the first run, but it was dark and I just reviewed it in trying to edit this video and thought, wow, that's looking pretty scary with a black mask with no lighting and only seeing my eyes. So here we are back in my home garage. This morning I actually put all of the interior back into the Evo 10. The car needs to be fully functioning for me because it is a family car. I've got a young son I need to take to school and blah, blah, blah. So it's all back, and unfortunately to take all the interior out takes about an hour and a half, and to put it back in again, of course, an hour and a half. The only thing I do like about it though is that I actually do that with my 6-year-old son. So gets him into cars, understands how to use the tools and all that sort of stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I've just come back from having my second COVID shot. So now I'm probably going to be tired with muscle pain and headaches for the next 24 hours. So I thought I'll try and record what I need to record and then edit it on my day off tomorrow as I recover. So basically, the first run I ran 17.1, I think it was. I let off after second gear because I quite simply changed gears way too hard in first and second. Simply just was not with it after waiting for 2 hours to stage. Yeah, so that was heavily disappointing to know that I would then have to return back into the staging lanes for probably even longer, and have several breakages in races, which holds up everyone. And so of course, yes, I get right up to the front of the staging lanes, and a car has some sort of spill right at the end of the track. So out comes the tractor and the cleaning crew to do what they need to do. I'm about to go and start my second run, and a guy in a car can't start his car at the starting lights. Gets pushed out of the way, and finally it's my turn to have a run. So I'm really quite focused on this second run. I had thought about running the car in full auto mode with launch control, and but no, I was adamant I wanted to do it in manual. I wanted to actually get the quarter mile time using my own discretion, if that's quite the term to use. But yeah, so basically I would manage to actually change the gears at 7,000 RPM, whereas on my first run I was doing it more like 7,500. And so as a result of that, I did end up hitting rev cut and then had issues with my fuel system. So basically, in the second run, I got a 1.89 60 foot, and yeah, first one I think was 1.96 60 foot. So yeah, a good 60 foot for me in this car has been low 1.8s, but and I expected to do as good as that this time, because I had dropped about 11.5 kilos of interior weight from the car. So that was the two front door cards, the center console with the elbow rest, and I removed the large windshield wiper bottle from the rear. So I've got the large version. There's two versions. If you know, you know. So yeah, all up that was 11.5 kilos. And then because I've got the Bulletproof Racing fuel hanger in the car, I went to the track with 1/3 of a tank of E85, straight E85, to do a run, and didn't have any issues with it launching, so that was fine, great. I thought, fantastic. That was the first thing in my mind when I did the 60 foot, and then as soon as I got to the top of first, I was like, oh damn, I've changed too late. And then in my second run, I had it down pat. I got to the top of first, it was 7,000. I changed gear, it was dead on, and then unfortunately, I got some sort of a fuel cut. Second gear, fuel cut. Third gear, got a knock count of 3.9, which was enough then to throw the check engine light on the cluster just temporarily. And so I was, of course, watching the air-fuel ratio and the knock count at that stage, but yeah, it didn't come back in fourth gear. So disappointing. I did not want to go and try another run because I knew it was going to probably take at least another hour. I sort of waited up because I knew that a lot of people were getting fed up and they were about to leave. But yeah, it wasn't to be. So that's racing. I'm old enough to know that you don't always go out and get what you want. You basically have to think, modify, make it better, go to the track. So I've had a quick chat with Alan from AK Racing last night, and we've talked about removing the DW300C fuel pump, which is inside the BPR fuel hanger. I'm going to be changing that out for probably a Walbro, I think it's 470, single pump. And I'm running Bosch 1000cc injectors in there. And I'm actually thinking of changing that out to probably some ID 1300s. So if I can run about 30 pounds of boost rather than 26, then yeah, I feel pretty confident that the fuel supply is more than enough to handle that. I'm not running an adjustable fuel pressure regulator on the car. Just speaking of Alan, we think that at least the fuel pump is the way to go to achieve my goal. So again, my goal is I'd like to run 11.5. I only need to cut 1/10 of a second off. Having thought about it again, I probably could have even made that and broken the record just by removing the 11 kilos out of the car. It would have been very close either way. But, you know, because I'd like to go and do some Motorcana work after this, I really need to think about fuel starvation when I'm taking tight corners on a track. So this is the way to go, I think. And I know that I'll go back in a couple of weeks' time to a month to give it another shot again. Another thing I wanted to mention is spoke to Keith from AK, and we just sort of threw up the idea of getting either AK or Queensland CJ owners in particular to put up some money to go and have the pre-test and tune run. So that's basically where you book out the track for an hour or two prior to a test and tune. You have exclusive use of the track. You pay a little bit more, but you certainly don't have to wait for an hour or two. And for most of the guys that aren't so in tune with having to worry about clutch temperatures or don't have a Dodson heated sump and are just sort of sitting there in the staging lanes, and then they get up to the front, don't have warm clutch packs, and then basically they just slip gears. So I think that's the way to go. And we've got probably, 2 or 3 more months of cool weather here in Brisbane to make that happen. Otherwise, you start losing out on the advantage of having cold weather for a turbocharged car. So I, as you know, if you're particularly in Queensland, you would obviously be aware of Jackson Strain and his videos on YouTube. Jackson is a good friend of mine. 4 of us run Queensland CJ owners in Australia, and he was unfortunately not able to get out there to record the events this weekend due to prior engagements for filming for his channel. So as you probably know, I do not record or feature other people's cars on my channel. But because because Jackson was not able to make it out to do that, I've reached out to the guys who were at the track last night. So that's AK staff and customers to send me their videos in a messenger chat so that I could run them at the end of this video. So I'm going to simply just now move to those videos and photos. Thanks to all those guys who sent that to me, and hopefully you get a kick out of seeing it on the big screen at home or at work. Once again, guys, I think that's pretty much, I've covered everything. So yeah, hopefully next time I go out, I can run quite a bit better, and looking out to going out there and having you guys run great times with me. You'll see from the video footage that Jordan ran an 11.7 in his Evo X. That was with a full interior. So congratulations to him. If you're watching this, mate, make sure that you upload that to mitsutimes.org so you can get your name up there with us guys from Queensland, because that list is going to look pretty good coming soon, with all of the Queensland guys entering the scene and becoming competitive. That's fantastic. So yeah, thanks again, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Help me to get to 1,000. I'm only at like 600. You know, go on your mum's YouTube, subscribe, and do whatever you have to do so I can start making some money out of these videos and put extra money into this car. Everything that I get from it will go into the car, believe me. Yeah, if you've got any questions, or if you want to shoot me a message, you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks or a month. Thank you.
One.